That's the best book I've ever seen.
Nope. The best book you've ever seen is Tom Clancy's Op Center.
That thing knows me better than I know myself.
Hey guys, it's Hidden Gems here, back again. Now, you're probably reading the title of this video thinking, Tom Clancy? That's not really a hidden gem. And yes, it's not. But, I'd be surprised if you had heard of Tom Clancy's Op Center. And maybe you have. You might have seen this book series at a grocery store or something, and it wouldn't shock me. But have you ever actually read this series? Probably heard of it, but I'm here to tell you it's a very underrated part of the Tom Clancy universe. Now, the original series ran from 1995 until about 2005, I believe, and started with Tom Clancy's Op Center, releasing in 1995 by Jeff Robin. Now, this book was ghostwritten by Jeff Robin. It says on the cover here it was created by Tom Clancy and Steve Pachenik, which it was. But this book was the first series. Most of it was, actually, I believe, all of it was ghostwritten by Jeff Robin, who's actually known for doing video game books. He mainly wrote, I think, How to Win at Nintendo, How to Win at Genesis. He wrote all those early, strategy books for early game consoles. That's what he's known for. And, the first Op Center was a huge hit. Sold, I think, at least about 1 million copies, give or take. Got a TV miniseries. And, I read it probably, I don't know, about 10 years after it came out, and it was a little dated. At the time, I felt like it was a little dated, and it probably would still probably be now, but the politics are still relevant. It has to do with North and South Korea, which is obviously still a thing, and a group of terrorists that are basically trying to start a war rekindle the fires between North and South Korea. So this is probably, if anything, it's probably more relevant now than when probably I read it in 2005, because there hadn't really been, that had kind of quieted down at the time. Yeah, so that was the book that kicked off the whole series. Now, I want to just talk about the Op Center universe. It's not actually in the Ryanverse. That's a mistake that a lot of people make. It's not in the I have the whole Ryanverse. Yeah, if you can see it here down there. But it's not in the same universe as Hunt for Red October. It is this is the Ryanverse, the Op Center, and the NetForce universe, which I have right here. These are their own universe. The NetForce and the Op Center, and I'll do a video on NetForce probably at some point. These are their own universe, not connected to the Ryanverse. And yeah, so the original series, which I read most of, was about, I think, 10 books. That's the second one. And then I kind of jumped around. I didn't read every single one. But I'm kind of more here to talk about the reboot series, which I've been greatly enjoying and has been going on since 2014, I believe, which started with Out of the Ashes, and then Scorched Earth, and then the second most recent one, God of War, and the most recent, Black Order. So it's a 20-book series, and what's great about this series is it's not like your typical thriller series where you have to really follow. You're following. I mean, you are following the same characters, but it's not. It's almost like a Monster of the Week kind of a thing where you can jump in at any point. You could jump into any of these. I mean, I hadn't read I went back and read the reboot series, but I hadn't read an Ops Center book in, yeah, I mean, probably since I was 15. And I just, picked this up off of God of War off of the shelf at a grocery store and just read it. And I, I was not lost at all. They pick you up on all the characters. They're really great episodic reading. They're all self-contained from what I understand. It's a really great self-contained series. And I guess I probably should talk about what Ops Center is. It's basically I almost want to say it's not. I almost want to say it's a Black Ops group. It kind of is. It's an operational center, obviously, Ops Center. It's a group of people that have basically set up it's a government and privately run organization that basically they don't have to get any, they can basically, if there's something happens, like let's say somebody releases a virus in Texas or something, they can just go and they can send they can send a military team and they can just stop it. They don't have to go through all the red tape that, a normal government organization has to go through. So it's kind of like, it's realistic to the point where, it feels like something that could happen, and it also feels like it's that perfect balance between military fiction and over the top kind of action adventure, kind of globe trotting stuff, like Rainbow Six. It really, if you enjoyed Rainbow Six, the game, or definitely the novel, it really feels like a continuation of. It's basically almost if you took Rainbow Six and gave Rainbow Six their own little franchise here. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too in depth here. I kind of just want to make this a quick little video. But yeah, I mean, it's just a fun little series. It's not heavy it's not high art or anything. They're just really fun little thrillers. And I grew up reading them. Like I said, I read probably about half of the original series when I was a kid. And then I started picking it up recently, like I said, at the grocery store. And I recommend it. They're fun little military action thrillers. Written in a Clancy style. I recommend probably the Jeff Rovin ones. I've read some of the other ones written by other people. They're not quite as good. The Jeff Rovin ones, I would definitely say, anytime you see Jeff Rovin on a cover, I would get it. He's probably the best. He's the creator of Op Center. Well, him along with Tom Clancy and Steve Pachenik. But he wrote the original series, and he's as far as I know, he's going to continue to write the reboot series. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can talk about I have not read Black Order, which is the 20th book. This is the newest book. This just came out a few months ago, so I can't comment on that yet. But I have read God of War, which was very prevalent because it deals with a bioweapon and bioterrorism. It really reminded me, honestly, of like a B plot for like a Resident Evil game. I feel like this would have been a really good, like if you take this and combine it with Resident Evil, you could have a really good probably TV show here, or at least maybe a mini series or something. But really intense, really good stuff. I read it in like 2 or 3 sittings. I could not put it down. I had a really hard time putting it down. Yeah, so that's it. That's kind of all I wanted to say. I just think this is a kind of a, when I hear people talk about Tom Clancy, and I know he didn't write any of the books, but, everybody talks about, Hunt for Red October and all his books, and then they maybe talk about Splinter Cell, which I've done a video on, and, other things, Rainbow Six. But I never hear anybody talk about Op Center or even really NetForce. But even NetForce, I feel like gets a little bit more cachet. And I'm going to do a video on that at some point on the original series and the reboot. But yeah, so I just feel it's an underrated series. If you're ever at the grocery store or at a supermarket or whatever, go ahead and grab them. Go ahead and take a look. And that's it. Have a nice day.